Okay, so now here César goes for g6, and guys, we have the dragon variation, and you can see he wants to fianchetto his bishop to g7 to control that, massive long diagonal. Okay, so now Fischer develops his dark square bishop on e3, which indicates he's going to bring his queen next to d2 with the idea of castling long side. And that's the typical regular Fischer stuff. Okay, so now bishop to g7, César is also preparing to castle f3. Okay, and after that César just castles queen to d2, and you can see what he's preparing for. Okay, so now César develops his another knight on c6, bishop to c4, and you can see Fischer eyes the king on g8. And guys, usually the game continues with knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop to e6 asking for bishop exchange, bishop takes e6, f takes e6, and you can see black improves his central control and opens the f file for the rook, which clearly shows this is a very solid setup for black. Okay, so in the actual game, after the move bishop to c4, here César continues with a6, but guys, this is an inaccuracy. And yes, he is preparing to push b5, but it's a bit slow. And now Fischer calmly, drops his bishop to b3, stopping any tricks and overprotecting his position. Okay, so now black can continue, with knight to a5 so that he can target this active bishop. But instead he goes for queen to a5, putting some pressure over the a file. And so that, he can get some benefit if Fischer castled queenside. But Fischer is Fischer. He, however, castled queenside. Okay, so now here the best move for black is to exchange the knight so that he can, open up the position. But instead he goes for bishop to d7, which is a good move, which indicates he wants to place his rook into the c file, getting right in the front of white king. So that's why after seeing this, Fischer slides his king to b1, and now here black has the option to bring his rook onto the c file, and then he can consider pushing the queenside pawns so that he can attack the king. But instead he brings the wrong rook onto the c file, because so basically that's an inaccuracy, because we need a rook on the a file. If let's suppose pawns get exchanges in the future, this queen and rook battery is going to put up the white king into serious trouble. But after moving the rook, now it seemed quite difficult. And by seeing this opportunity, Fischer starts attacking from the queen side with the move g4, preparing to launch an attack. And now César centralizes his knight. Maybe he wants to play knight to c4 so that he can target the queen. And guys, now white can continue this game by pushing the queenside pawns, directly marching towards the black king. But instead here Fischer makes a mistake with bishop to h6. He basically wants to trade the bishop so that he can place his queen on h6. But now there is a move which black can consider in this position. Just pause the video and try to find that move by yourself. And guys, in this position, black can actually sacrifice his rook with rook takes c3, and the idea behind this move is if white captured this rook with the b pawn, that will be a mistake, because now comes this crazy move knight takes f3, trying to deflect the knight on d4 with the idea of knight takes e4, attacking the queen as well as the pawn on c3. And if this queen moves to let's say on e3 square, now queen takes c3, just giving up the another knight so that black can mate on a1. So to stop this, knight to d4 is forced, but queen takes e3, black can now comfortably exchange the queens, and finally knight to c3 check. And in the next move, you can see white has to lose his rook. That's crazy. But guys, obviously this sequence is not easy to find, so that's why after bishop to h6, okay, so after this position, Here César plays knight to c4, jumping into the queen side and directly targeting the queen on d2. Okay, so that's why bishop takes c4, rook takes c4. But guys, that's not the correct way. This is because now white is going to first of all exchange the bishop with bishop on g7 with bishop takes g7, and the idea is after king takes g7, knight to b3, attacking the queen while simultaneously opening the d file, where you can see this queen and rook are making this amazing battery. Queen to e5, and now white can continue the assault with the g5. And since this knight is attacked, so knight to h5, but knight to d5, and suddenly you can see white pieces are dominating over the board. So let's suppose if black tries to attack this knight with e6, knight to e3, and you can see white has a massive initiative. So yeah, so that's so instead of this move, which is okay, so let me go back. Rook takes c4. Here the correct move for black is to first of all exchange the bishops, so that the idea is after queen takes h6, rook takes c4, and if now white pushed g5, knight to h5, and suddenly you can see this queen is trapped. And if white tries to continue the attack with, let's say, knight to d5, rook to e8, and you can see black is holding the position perfectly. Okay, so in the game after rook takes c4, here Fischer also missed this move, bishop takes g7, and instead he goes for knight to b3. He attacks the queen, but guys, it's better for black to capture this bishop on h6, but instead he goes for queen to e5. And guys, now it would be better to exchange the bishop and then consider the move g5, which creates a good pressure on black position. But instead he makes a mistake with h4, and the problem with that move is, in this position black can now consider this amazing move. Just pause the video and try to find it by yourself. And guys, the move is to sacrifice the rook on c3 with rook takes c3, and the idea is after, let's say, b takes c3, and guys, the next move by black is so crazy that it will literally blow your mind. If you want to find it, just pause the video and try to find it by yourself. And guys, the move is bishop takes g4. I mean, what to say? What kind of move is this? What is the intention behind this move? And guys, the idea is if white captures this bishop with the f pawn, and since now there is no defender of this e4 pawn, so knight takes e4, attacking the queen with the same idea of knight takes c3 and all the stuff which I explained earlier. And I know some of you might be thinking about a defensive move which is queen to d4, but guys, this is of no use because of knight takes c3 check. And after king to a1, if now comes queen takes d4, rook takes d4, and obviously bishop takes d4 would be a bad move due to this undefended rook on f8. So that's why bishop takes h6 is the best move, and in the end there is no need to tell who is winning here. I mean, just look at the black pawns and the shatter pawn structure of white king. I mean, that's an absolutely dominating position for black. Okay, so in the game after the move h4, okay, so let me go back. Yeah, so here César missed this opportunity and he goes for rook at f goes to c8. And basically his idea is to create massive pressure on the c file. Okay, so bishop to f4 by Fischer. He targets the queen, but okay, so here Fischer goes for bishop to h6. He wants to trade that defender, but bishop to h8. And guys, that's a great move by César. He wants to keep the bishop on this amazing diagonal. And guys, now Fischer must consider the move which is rook to c1. Basically trying to defend that c2 pawn, so that even after white pushes b4, knight to d1, and you can see white can defend this c2 pawn with the queen and the rook. But in the actual game, after bishop to h8, here Fischer plays e5, which is a huge mistake. Yes, he is attacking the knight, but this move also allows black to continue with b4, attacking the knight. And after, he captures on f6, and César captures on c3, and after that queen to h2, and you can see what's coming next. So that's why here César captures the f6 pawn, which is the main route, of course. And you can see here he's preparing something crazy. I mean, his queen, bishops, two rooks and a pawn, they all are ready to shatter the white king. Okay, so after Fischer plays bishop to g5, so after that he plays this move, opening the f file as well as targeting the queen. So that's why queen goes to f7, queen to e2. Fischer tries to increase the pressure over the e7 pawn. Okay, so c takes b2, queen takes e7, and basically Fischer, tries to exchange all the pieces so that he can reduce some pressure. Rook takes d6, he's now targeting the bishop, so it has to move. So basically César moves it on a4, which indicates he wants to exchange this. But so here Fischer goes for now bishop to g5, eyeing the c1 square so that this type of move can't be played. But rook to f2. Okay, so César now attacks the f3 pawn. So bishop to e3, but this is of no use because of rook takes f3, and after that bishop goes to d4. Okay, asking for bishop exchange, but here César exchanges the knight with the bishop. A takes b3, and after that bishop takes d4, rook takes d4, rook takes b3, rook to d2, rook at c goes to b8, and you can see now, I mean, just look at this. No need to tell that who is going to win in this position. Here Fischer goes for rook to d7. He is now creating immense pressure on this h7 square, but César is like, seriously, and his final move was rook to a3. And guys, in this position Bobby Fischer resigned. This is because, let's suppose if this game continues, like rook takes h7, if he tries to to capture this pawn, but this is of no use because of rook to a1 check, king to c2, and just pause the video and try to think, what will you play? Obviously this is not a good move, so that's why here the correct move order is rook to c1 check. The idea is after rook takes c1, now he can promote to a queen. Sorry for this inconvenience. Yeah, now it's showing. King takes c1, and the final move is king takes h7, and in the end you can see black will be a full rook up. Can you imagine Fischer losing the game like this? I mean, what an absolutely brilliant play by César Muñoz. I mean, just imagine this level. Absolutely crazy game. Like this video, and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.